And we're back. The Prost Brazil race 2024. Wayne Williams and Bart Murphy. Can you say, what a race? That one's going to go down in history, man. I tell you, thoroughly enjoyed that. You can no longer say that F1 is even remotely boring by any means. Interlagos, which means, of course, between the lakes. And it seemed like the lake was actually on the track. There was so much rain on the weekend. And of course, that's what kind of flipped it up a little bit, turned it on its head from canceling qualifying. And then it's like, when we were Eastern Standard Time, it was like 4:30 in the morning, the day of the race. And then that getting red flagged and Verstappen ending up 17th, and watching him go through the pack was just unbelievable. Bart, how you doing, man?
I'm great, man. One of the greatest races I think of all time. I really think that for me it rates in the top 3 or 4 races of all time. It was unbelievable. What a show to pass six
Yeah.
or seven cars on the first lap.
Unbelievable. Yeah, you knew that it was going to be interesting when when you saw the kind of the rain that was kind of hovering around on and off, and trying to figure out which tires to throw on, when to take them off, intermediates, wets, whatever. Right, the start of the race, and just watching drivers going through that, just literally trying to stay on track. Right, and that was pretty cool. So. We got a few things to talk about. Let's I guess go through the race, and we'll chat about it. And of course, as mentioned, Verstappen, starting 17th with that penalty, and wow, of course we all know the the end of that race. Verstappen winning it as he made his way through, and just again a world-class drive from this young man. And we were talking off air that, it was really nice to see almost like a different Verstappen when he won this one. It was like a long time coming. And he was, he actually, remembered what it was like to kind of win a race again, because it kind of got boring for him after a while, I would imagine too, right?
Yeah, he really.
This time he felt like he was thoroughly happy. He was laughing, smiling, running towards the team, jumping in. Like, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
Even in the cool down room, it felt like it was a different atmosphere. I don't know if it was the Alpine guys. It just felt like Verstappen really. I bet you if you asked him, this is probably his greatest victory in F1. You're right. He just had a different feel. It felt like a lot more important and exciting for him. That's for sure. So.
Yeah. No, that was great too. Of course, Ocon and Gasly. Wow, it was somebody. I think one of the commentators said it was nice to see 3 really happy race drivers on the podium, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that was so great to see. The interviews, the post interviews were fantastic as well too, and of course, a shout at them. Watching some of the replays, but man, unbelievable. So, of course, Verstappen starting at 17th. I guess. Russell, what was going on with Russell at the beginning of that race there? Do you remember what happened there?
Geez, it was such a long time ago, and so many things happened. All I know is that Russell was leading the race at one point, and I thought, he's either going to screw this thing up, or the team's going to somehow screw it up.
Right.
Poor guy.
Yeah. So, I just remembered at the top of my head that something went down with Russell on, earlier on in the race, but just whatever. Let's keep going. Sergio goes off track. I don't know. That was like lap 5 or 6 or something like that.
Yeah. Do we want to start off with Stroll though, Wayne? Do we want to start because the thing with the Stroll started all the chaos.
That's true. Race. That's true. Yeah.
It was Stroll.
Talk about that for a minute.
Going off. Stroll goes off on the formation lap, and the weird thing was, it is the broadcaster Sky TV, he was on the tarmac, and then all of a sudden they had to abort the start, and I was wondering like why, all Stroll had to do was spin the car around, but this is what he did instead.
Yeah, yeah, he beat you. Yeah,
I, you had all that
yeah.
tarmac. I don't
I
understand.
know. Yeah, yeah. He was on the tarmac and then decides to drive through wet
Does the
sand, dirt,
car only
mixture
turn
thereof.
left?
I wonder when Daddy's gonna go. Okay, son, enough's enough. After a while,
Yeah. So that's what started all the chaos.
yeah. Hamilton was struggling too earlier on in the race too. A bouncing car. I mean, he just fell back right off the top too, right? So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Obviously, the track, they're supposed to resurface it to make it smoother. They made it worse.
Yeah.
A lot of drivers were complaining about that as well.
Did you see those Hamilton onboards too? It looked like he was
Yeah,
on
I know.
ice.
Brutal.
How,
This is
how
why
he
you had
finished
back
10th?
problems.
Like, I don't know how he finished 10th, Wayne. It just looked like he was skating with
I
that
know.
car.
I know. Yeah. Well, again, to his talent, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then Sergio loses it early on in the race, and we're just still. I mean, it's just interesting. That guy, his luck or his talent, his luck. I don't know. I'm surprised that guy still has a drive. When you think about, it's we talked about the whole sponsorship issue and the money, and then you think about Red Bull and how fast they got rid of like Albon, right? Daniel Ricciardo, right? It's kind of like, well, it wasn't that fast, but considering how long they're keeping, Sergio around, there's definitely a difference when it comes to when you have some sponsorship money. You
Yeah.
can't deny that. I don't think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. For sure. He's gone 6 races longer than I think we thought he would, and he's still going.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of crazy. So
Yeah.
I think it was like around lap like 14 or 15 where the rain just it really intensified, right? And even by then, lap 4, Verstappen was sixth, right?
Yeah.
Like like it was insane how fast he went through the field, right?
Yeah. He just picked everybody off like they were standing still. It was really quite amazing just to see him. I think he got stuck behind Leclerc for a little while, and he
Yeah.
did mention after the race that he had the most difficulty with Leclerc because he said he's a good driver. I don't know if that's a dig at other drivers, like maybe maybe Norris.
Who knows with Verstappen, right? It's always
Just never
kind of
know.
cheeky. What else we got here? So lap 16, there was like a 1 second interval between Russell um, and Norris in second. Lap 20, Hamilton, just getting passed by Sainz,
Hmm.
Colapinto. I mean, it was sad to see Hamilton
Yeah,
getting passed by this rookie, right? That kind of sucks.
yeah, big time.
Again, showing Colapinto's talent, right?
Yeah, yeah. He did caught. I feel for Williams, and here's a shot of. This is what we saw in the Williams garage all weekend. Was this this kind of
Hmm.
shot? I think between Albon and Colapinto's 2 crashes, I think they cost Williams about $10 to $15 million this weekend. So expensive weekend for Williams.
Yeah, for sure. So, well, at like 21, Russell was ahead by like 1.8 seconds, but then he started to talk about some brake issues between him and Hamilton as well too. So, um, but that on top of everything else with the car and the bumpiness of the track definitely did not work in Mercedes' favor for sure, right?
Yeah. Did you have the same feeling, Wayne? Did you think, oh, Russell's leading, but he's not going to win?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I don't know what it is about Russell. Like yeah, he tends to he qualifies great, but in the race, just not as strong, right? And
Yeah.
just tends to make the odd kind of silly mistake, right? And that's where you kind of flip it on its head when it comes to Hamilton right now. Hamilton's been kind of sucking when it comes to qualifying, but then come race time, he tends to perform. So um,
I think
see
they
what
screwed
happens
something
when.
up with the. I think they screwed something up with the. He was just running so low all weekend. You know, all of the marks that you saw on the front straight when they
Yeah,
were
that's
walking
true.
around. I'm thinking
Yeah.
those floor marks on the track were from Lewis. Every time he went around the corner, sparks were flying off the
Hmm.
floor, and they did something. They screwed something up there pretty royally. I think.
Mercedes just can't get that car right.
Yeah, I know.
They just can't get it right. Like I can't wait till 2026. Well, when a reset with the car, but right now they just cannot. And it's so funny. A team with that much resources, money, and just everything. Like, they just I don't know.
Yeah,
Really weird.
it is weird.
Really weird. Hulkenberg beaches his Haas at lap 28, and then that virtual safety car kind of pops in, and that's when then Piastri pit, Alonso pit, Hamilton, Checo, and then from there it was just one thing after the other, which was great. But then George, that's what I was kind of referring to earlier that I forgot about was George kind of getting caught up in that safety car, just waiting too long to pit, I think. And yeah, I think they waited too long, and then right just got caught out, and put him back a few places at that
Uh,
point.
yeah, for sure. And then they red flagged the race, and that kind
Yeah,
of played into Verstappen's hand as well, for sure.
yeah, red flag. And then what was that about? Was it what team was it that actually didn't make a pit stop at all because they got to change to whatever without a full official pit stop. They did it on the red flag.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that was
Wasn't that
Verstappen.
Alpine? That
Was
was
it
Alpine,
an
right?
Alpine? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So they changed tires without having to pit stop because yeah, they did it on the red, and they ended up second and third. So they held
And
out.
third, yeah,
They didn't pit when everybody else did.
yeah,
I think Ocon was up there anyway. He was up in
yeah.
fourth or fifth. But yeah, that certainly helped the
That helped
Alpine
them for
team.
sure, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just saw on race recap that they were talking about they had a poll on whether you think it's this FIA needs to change that rule where should you be able to change tires on a red flag?
Yeah, yeah, I think you should. Why not?
Yeah,
I know what you mean
you do
though.
everything else, right?
It's kind of an unfair advantage, but
It
hey, listen,
is.
it
That's racing.
well that's racing. Exactly. It's in some good breaks, some bad breaks,
Yep.
you just don't know how it's going to go.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. It all comes down to wash because throughout the season, drivers get breaks, and then yeah, like you said, good breaks, bad breaks, and this is all part of it, right? And that's what makes it exciting, right? Like when these things, just these acts of gods, if you will, kind of happen, and okay, it's raining, and we can do this now, and then the whole race changes and flips on its head, which is amazing, right? So I
Absolutely.
think leave it alone, like do whatever you can on when you red flag a race. I mean, how often do races get red flagged, right? So
Well, yeah. Well, geez,
it's
how
like winning
many
a race lottery at that point, right?
Yeah, how many safety cars and stoppages did we have this weekend though? Six in qualifying.
Was
Yeah,
there?
but yeah, a bunch during the race. Yeah, qualifying was actually pretty painful. There was, there was one after another.
Yeah.
The Aston Martins going out, Alonso, the Williams, Carlos Sainz. Like, I mean, the list goes on and on. That was a really expensive race, but good for
No doubt.
Alpine. I think Alpine probably are going to benefit to the tune of $30 million from that race because of
They
all the
are.
points they got. So
They were saying more than that actually if they stay where they are. Yeah, like they were saying 50 million they were talking about. Yeah.
isn't
Isn't
it
that
crazy?
crazy? Think
Isn't it
about the
crazy?
money. Like that's I mean, yeah, think about the money it costs to run a team like that, but geez,
Yeah,
getting a point or two or six it makes a big
yeah.
difference
There's
there.
just
Wow.
so much money in the sport
So
now. It's
much money,
crazy.
especially now, right?
Yeah.
Especially now. So another safety car. Speaking of that, on lap 30, that was a full safety car after the virtual safety car. Then at that point, I think that Ocon had a lead over Verstappen. Red flag on 33. I don't know. Piastri, did he bump? I think he bumped. Yeah, he bumped Lawson.
Hmm.
Just got a little too close to him
Hmm.
and kind of tagged him and spun him out at lap between lap 33 and 36. Apparently, he apologized to him because that's the kind of guy that Piastri is, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a good dude.
So then, and then after that too, there was the incident when Hulkenberg got beached there on the top of that nice bank corner,
Yeah.
and then he got assistance from the track workers, and
Yeah.
then gets black flagged, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Not allowed to do that.
Yeah,
That was around
yeah.
the.
He didn't even know. Like I guess he handled it pretty well too, because he kind of figured. I guess he was trying to get away with it, but he figured, hey,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's going through his head. He should have just got out of the car. I was like, you guys can't help me. I guess he just wanted to ride back or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I'm not sure what he was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a great weekend for the Haas team though. It looked
No.
promising, but the rookies. I got to say, the rookies. It was a trial by fire. They were thrown into the wolves this weekend with the whole wet weather thing. They all struggled. Berriman struggled. Colapinto. They all struggled out there because it's extremely difficult to drive in wet weather,
Yeah.
and that really separates the great drivers from the incredible drivers. And I think
That it
Verstappen
does.
Verstappen proved that this weekend
He
for
did.
sure.
He did. Yeah, and I think if Hamilton had the car behind him, I think he would have performed better as well too.
Yes.
Speaking of just being able to handle that rain, and then you saw in the restart, right? That restart was kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, how many drivers went off on that restart?
Yeah.
That got a little crazy too. Behrman went off. Norris, I think, Norris went wide on it as well too. Leclerc
He
went off,
did.
right?
He
So it
did.
was like,
And Ocon was leading the race, which was
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
That was short lived though. Verstappen wasn't having any of that.
Oh no, no, no. Verstappen took that lead. Yeah, that was like, wasn't that within the first lap after that?
Yeah. Yeah.
After that reset, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then of course, just at the end, um, two
The,
very happy Alpines and Verstappen winning this thing, and like you mentioned, damage for Williams, quite the bill, and
yeah.
Alpine making between 30 to 50 million, and wow, just all over the place, which is fantastic to see, right?
Yeah,
Three really happy
absolutely.
drivers again, right?
Yeah.
And watching that rain come in, leave,
There was there's
tire changes.
there was somebody else that was happy, Wayne.
Who was
I,
that?
I don't know if you remember predictions. Hey, listen, you
Bring
were
it.
right. You were right last week.
That's
I,
true.
I get my time, right? I get my time.
That's
Well, if you remember, I said if it's going to rain, then I'm gonna. This is what I'm gonna do with my team. I'm gonna take Norris, Piastri, and McLaren out, and I'm gonna replace it with Hamilton and Verstappen and Mercedes. So I kind of did that. I replaced. Sorry, wrong one. I replaced Verstappen. So I went with Verstappen and as my winner. So my double points. and then I had Hamilton instead of Piastri, and I kept the McLaren just because I was kind of again worried about George and what he was going to do, and so I kept the McLaren team. But if you'll notice, Wayne, I went from this was last week 10,576th to 5,397th. So I jumped 5,000 places because I decided to go with Max.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice job. All right.
thank you.
So you're welcome. So
Well, we're two for
let's
two. You
what's
had the
that?
winner last week, and I had the
That's
winner
right.
this week.
I
So
did. I
we're
did.
two
So
for
we're
two.
we're even Steven right now. So
That's
we'll see
right.
what happens in a couple of weeks at the so you have a couple of things before we talk about the next week, right? What's
Well,
going
I was
on?
just going to say
Talking about
follow the podcast for the winner because we'll give you the winner every week. It's either going to be
yeah,
Wayne
that's
or me.
right. That's that's right. Get them betting odds up for you.
Yeah, it was kind of cool to see. It was kind of cool to see Lewis in the Senna car.
Yes. Yeah, that was nice. Nice one. Yeah, I mean that's talk about a dream come true for him, right? Glad his race weekend wasn't great, but that's amazing. What a different car you like when they get into those older cars, right?
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
amazing. Yeah, what
Pretty
an honor for him.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and Brazil loves Lewis, so
Loves Lewis, yeah.
I'm sure they
And
were
now
happy.
Colapinto too, obviously, right? Native son right there.
Yeah, yeah, and there might be a Brazilian driver in F1 next year. Bortolo
Oh yeah,
might be coming in as well. So yeah,
yeah,
a lot of South America is going to be
yeah,
represented there. So
yeah.
yeah.
Very nice. What else you got? Something about Jacques Villeneuve?
Yeah, this is kind of crappy news, but it's really disappointing. Don't want to be a down trip, but I think we got to talk about this, especially since we are in Canada.
Right.
There was an incident on the weekend at the Gilles Villeneuve Museum in Quebec, just south of Montreal. It's an amazing museum, by the way.
Yeah.
It's got all of Gilles' stuff from when he started, junior racing and Formula Atlantic and so forth, all the way up. But there's a bronze statue that was outside of the museum, and somebody decided to steal it.
Wow.
So
How would they get a bronze statue?
looks
Oh,
like
they obviously brought some tools.
they just cut the bottom off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they stole the bronze statue. Jacques went on and said these guys are soulless idiots, and I have to agree. I mean
Yeah.
that
What are they going to do with it? Like, I don't understand what you would even do with it. You
well,
can't sell it.
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with it. I don't know. If you melt it down, it's not going to be worth anything.
No.
You can't sell it.
No.
So I'm not sure. It's just it's a sad situation, but obviously the family and everybody involved wants to catch these guys. So if you know of anything, if you have any information, please contact the Bethreville Police Department in Quebec and let them know. But it's really sad, Wayne. I mean, it's he's a national hero, and really really unnecessary.
Yeah.
So
Some people's kids, eh? I don't know. Yeah, I just there's just some senseless crimes. I just don't quite understand what that is even about. But
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Hopefully there'll be some follow up with it, and we can figure out what the deal is there. Could be just a prank, right? Could be just some people just doing stupidness, right?
Yeah, well, let's hope it's just kids doing stupid things. But now they got to put it back together if they find it. But Like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's hope that they find it and everything goes back to the way it was because that's an important museum, and it's Gilles Villeneuve. So
Yep. That's for sure. What else you got?
that's
That's it.
about yeah, that's about it. I mean, it's yeah, like amazing race, and Wayne, I say it's top three for me. It goes that race is right up there with the 2000 Hockenheim Grand Prix. I don't know if you remember, but Rubens Barrichello won that, so there's a connection. He's Brazilian,
Mm,
but Rubens Barrichello started 18th and won that
mm,
race, and beat your guy Mika Hakkinen. But there was only wet in one part of the track, so, and he stayed out on slicks, and everybody else pitted for wets, and he struggled through, but won that race. So that rate's right up there. And ironically enough, one of the guys that he passed on the way to winning that race was Jos Verstappen, Max's dad. So
that's
there's
yeah.
there's a connection there too. Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
yeah, it's an amazing race. Any standouts for you? Obviously our listeners can go and watch the highlights from that. That's 2000 Hockenheim. Do you have anything that stands out for you?
No, off the top of my head, no. Just in terms of like top three races, I forget which race it was where Hamilton was started last, and I don't know if you remember, and won it in the Mercedes.
Oh yeah, that was
But
2021. Yeah, so that was just a couple of years ago. I think the sprints counted towards the race. So he started the sprint 20th, and then because
no,
he
was that? It
finished,
was the actual race. It was the actual race
yeah,
itself. Yeah, I
yeah.
forget which one it was, but yeah, it'll come to me as soon as we get off the podcast. But yeah, thanks for putting me on the spot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Just look up Lewis Hamilton last to
yeah,
first in
yeah, yeah. Last
2021,
to
and you'll
first.
you'll find it.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
Well, there's been so many. We've watched so many races over the
Oh
years
man. Yeah.
that um, yeah, they all, some of them kind of melt together.
A lot of them do. Even this year, I mean, the British Grand Prix with Lewis was amazing too, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, I
absolutely.
thoroughly enjoyed that one especially for him, right, at his home race, and that was a great race.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a good one. All right, so 2 weeks, Las Vegas. What are you saying?
I think it's a cheesy circuit. I'm with Max on the whole. I'm not a huge fan of Vegas to begin with, but I think because the constructors championship is so close, I think it'll be an interesting race. I think Red Bulls put themselves right back into that mix. I'm not
Yeah,
sure what the numbers are. I didn't look at the numbers, but I think they're pretty close between McLaren, Red Bull, and Ferrari. I think they're within 60 or 70 points of each other now. So that'll be interesting. So it'll be a
mm,
good race. Again, I'm not into the whole sort of circus feel of Vegas, but yeah, but it's an F1 race, and they all seem to
So,
be great. So no complaints.
why do you think that you said the track was cheesy? What did you mean by that?
No, and the track's not
Or is it
cheesy.
the actual all the
Yeah,
Vegas stuff
yeah,
around
it's the
it?
Vegas. It's the
Yeah,
Sphere. It's the kind of the over the top.
yeah,
You know, um, all show, no action kind of thing.
yeah. Now, if
You know
they
what I mean?
thought they were going to go to Vegas and not get that, then you got another thing coming, right?
Yeah,
You
I
kind
know.
of have to expect it when you go to Vegas, right? I
Yeah,
mean, that's
well,
what
if it
it's
was
about.
up to me, if it was up to me, we'd be racing in South Africa instead of Vegas.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's coming. That's coming.
yeah,
So
let's hope. Yeah,
eventually,
yeah, they just
hopefully,
got their designation. I think last week. I think
yeah.
the FIA granted them their designation. So they're part of the could be part of the mix.
Nice. All
Yeah.
right.
Are you looking forward to the race?
I am looking forward to it. Yeah, I think it'll be Red Bull backup. Well, not necessarily Red Bull, but Max. I don't know where Sergio's going to be, but I think it'll be another kind of Red Bull McLaren.
Well,
Fast track.
Sergio does like the street tracks.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
yeah,
we shall see. All right, well, we'll do a little pre before in 2 weeks, and then we'll go from there.
sounds good.
Okay, man. Anything else before we
Nope,
say goodbye?
that's it.
That is it. All right.
That is it.
So yeah, again, recap. Just thoroughly enjoyed one of the most satisfying races in a very long time for me. Love when the rain comes down and it kind of, what is that? They say it's the great equalizer. The rain is, and it certainly did this time around. Wayne Williams, Barton Murphy, signing off. This is F1 Shakedown, and don't forget, happiness isn't around the corner. Happiness is the corner. We're out.